Okay, so I got wheels and tires on it. The front end is still a little heavy. I'm going to start cutting metal off that front end. I'm going to take that cross member off. I'm going to take this member that comes up here off. I'm going to take that other metal. Get all that metal off the front of there. It might just about back this out. Not too heavy, but it's got some weight. It'll give me a chance to play with my torch some more. Hope you enjoy. This is pretty fun and a learning experience. I think it's good for me. So tomorrow, I'm going back over to Bud's house and start unloading some more stuff out of their basement. I probably ought to go ahead and load my lawnmower and my trailer up on my big trailer. Have it over there in the morning. This is a project that I can play with some more as I go along. There's an awful lot of metal welded up in a little spot right there. I could probably lose quite a few pounds if I get that off of there, but I'm going to have to. That's a big piece of angle iron here. This is going to require a big cut here or something. Get all this off, get all that off. And that might be something good to play with as I go along, experiment with some of these different fittings, stuff like that. I think I'll walk away from this for a minute and go down there and get the trailer and the lawn tractor and put on it. And then I'll come back. Well, so I'm going to go strap that on where it won't move. You know, I'm sitting here looking at this thing and I realize, you see how this comes out and then it goes up like a Z frame and then it comes out. If I hook that to a lawn tractor, that back end's going to be sticking way up in the air. It would make more sense to cut that whole front end off and just stick a straight pipe that comes right out so that the whole thing had a flat body all the way up to the tongue. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, we'll think about that some more. Let's get that thing strapped in place there, and then we'll think about what we're going to do next. been sitting around since before the flood. Wasn't even sure what kind of tips I had on it. But I went online and saw how to set up my tips and how to make my cuts, and it made a huge difference, and I'm going to show you. You see this cut right here? See how clean and pretty that cut is compared to this cut right here? This is not clean or pretty. See, this cut, pretty clean and pretty. This cut, pretty ugly. So what I did was, I went online, I found a guy, and he was cutting 1/2-inch steel with one of these, and he had it set up with, and I'm going to try to describe this the way he did. He described this one as the copper tip, and the copper tip has little crisscrossy grid looking things on it. And then this is the number 2 tip because it's got 2 rings on it. So this comes with a tip with no rings, a tip with a 1 ring, tip with 2 rings, and tip with 3 rings. And this is the one that blows out the fire. And he had his set not to a fine feather cutting looking point, but kind of a big blowing out, blasting fire. And then he said to set this tip 1/8 of an inch from the steel. Now you'll notice this tips out a little further than that. So if you look at the length of the tip of that pencil, that's about 1/8 right there. Well, I did exactly what he said, and I cut this right here. And this is probably, it's not a 1/2 inch, but it's probably, it might be more than 1/4. It might be 3/8. How much would 3/8 be? No, that would be, I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty darn thick piece of metal. It cut right through that very quickly. So that made a huge difference. Now, I don't have a lot of battery left on this, but I want to cut something so you can see it. And I'm not sure if you can even see what I'm cutting. I made this cut here too, at the same kind of way I was experimenting with cutting it up here. But based on that, it took me no time at all to cut this piece, and I was thinking, well, it would take me forever to cut through this. Well, no, it won't. Not if I operate the torch correctly. So I don't know if I want to fire up another cut or not. I don't really have my tripod ready or anything like that, but I did want to show you this. And I'll show you more as I go along. I'm going to tell you, I've never cut a lot of metal this way. I'm really good with a grinder, but I'm learning how to use this, and I'm going to go watch some more YouTube videos and see if I can catch any other tips about how to use this. I said before, and you'll probably hear me say it if you listen to very many of my videos, I don't really do how-to videos. And the reality is, a lot of times I don't know how to do stuff. I'm just doing it to learn. I feel like my videos are a public service because I get out and I make a mess of it and I make mistakes, and somebody can watch my videos and they can say, well, if he can do it and make mistakes, then I can too. So I guess I'm in the world to encourage people to do it, whether you can do it right or not. So with that said, I think it's a good time to wrap the day up, but I feel like I've got a good place to start from next time. And we'll kind of go from there. All right, thank you for watching, and thank you for putting up with my obviously inadequate ways. You will join a crowd of other friends of mine who put up with me in spite of everything, and I appreciate y'all for doing that. So with that said, I'll put this thing away. I had a couple of people contact me saying they were going to buy something or another. I've got these welders and things for sale. Oh yeah, I'll come get that. What's your address? I said, well, I don't know. It depends. You leaving now or you leaving later? No answer. I won't give my address to somebody who isn't coming now, because if you do, you wind up waiting all day long for somebody that never shows up. But if they ain't got your address, they're not coming. And I'm not going to give them the address unless they commit and say, I'm on the way. I'll be here at a certain time. If you can't do that, then I ain't going to give you my address. That's just the kind of guy I am. A little bit hard-headed in my old age. little bit hard-headed in my old age. Now I'm kind of looking forward to doing some more cuts, but I know I got some other stuff I need to do tomorrow, so I probably won't get around to them right away, but I'll get around to them soon. Love y'all. See you next time.